The final week of the regular season brought a few upset victories, a few upset teams, and a couple of teams we thought were going to make the playoffs are not going to make it. All of this coming up right now on the Scoreboard edition of Gridiron Central. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Jim Allred, and of course, it is the last week of the regular season. A lot of key games tonight. We're going to run through this, try to give as much of the scenarios as we know. Of course, this is late Friday, early Saturday morning. We don't know who everyone's going to be playing. You can come back to Prep Central Online later on Saturday and into Sunday to find out. And of course, we'll be breaking all of this down on the Wednesday preview show. But here's how the scores played out Friday night, starting off at Dade County. Dade County 13, Model 3. Dade County takes the number 2 spot and gets a home playoff game next week. Model gets the number 3 spot out of Region 7AA. They'll be on the road next week. Woodland 36, Rome 34 in not 1, not 2, but 3 overtimes. Rome loses in overtime for the second week in a row on a failed 2-point conversion attempt. Very tough loss for Rome. Really tough loss breaks to the end of the season. The loss eliminated Rome from the playoffs. Rome's out of the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. Pepperell 48, Armuchee 13. Just when you thought the Pepperell Dragons were out of it, they were 1-6 in mid-October. They reel off 3 straight victories. Grab the number 4 spot from Region 7AA. They will be on the road next week at Heard County in the first round of the AA playoffs. When I get to the Coosa game, I'll explain exactly why Pepperell's in and Coosa is out. Darlington 37, Whitfield Academy 7. Darlington wins, finishes 8-2 on the year so far. Everybody in Class A has to wait till early next week until the power rankings are released to find out what their seeding is going to be for the playoffs. Looking at Darlington right now, Coach Tommy Atha believes Darlington will have a high enough seed to have a home playoff game in the first round. Of course, we won't know that till the middle of next week. Cedartown 41, Ridgeland 27. The Bulldogs finished 9-1 on the season. They will either have the number 3 or the number 4 spot out of their region. They're going to be on the road next week in the Class 4A state playoffs. Calhoun 63, Chattooga 7. Of course, we already knew Calhoun was a Region 7AA champion. Tonight is Calhoun's 100th straight region victory. Calhoun is not on the road. They will be at home next Friday night in the opening round of the AA playoffs. Coosa 60, Murray 3. Coosa ends up with a winning record. However, this is how the Region 7AA playoff picture worked out. Calhoun, number 1. We already knew that. The winner of Model Dade, we knew was going to grab the number 2 spot. Well, Dade won that. They get the number 2 spot. Model falls to the number 3 spot. That left Pepperell and Coosa in a tie for the number 4 spot. Pepperell beat Coosa head-to-head. Pepperell gets the number 4 spot. Coosa is number 5. Unfortunately, only the top 4 get in the playoffs. Coosa, very good season, but they don't make the playoffs. Cartersville 33, Ringgold 16. Purple Hurricanes clinch the Region 5 AAA title. They are undefeated for the second straight season in the regular season. Ringgold gets the number 2 seed. Will host a home playoff game next week in the opening round of the AAA playoffs. Sonoraville 60, LFO 35, the mighty Phoenix get it done. They had to win this game to guarantee themselves their first ever trip to the playoffs next week. Sonoraville hits the road to play Buford. Not exactly who you want to be playing in the first round of the playoffs in any division, but guess what? The Phoenix get to go to the playoffs, and that's a huge deal for them. Adairsville 42, Coahulla Creek 16. Tigers get a win. They are the number 3 seed out of Region 5 AAA. They're going to the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive year, and they will be on the road next week. North Murray 42, Gordon Central 21. Tough season for the Warriors. They finish 0-10 on the season. Callaway 47, Rockmart 6. Not exactly the best way you want to send out your coach. Dan Duff's final game coaching at Rockmart. Tough loss for the Yellow Jackets in that one. Kings Ridge 21, Gordon Lee 7. Trojans, again, they're going to have to wait to see the power rankings. I'm afraid they may be on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs go. Mount Perrin 24, Tryon 14. Tryon actually had a lead in the 4th quarter. Mount Perrin came back to score a couple of touchdowns late, grabbed the lead from the Bulldogs. Again, both Mount Perrin and Tryon will be like Darlington and everybody else in Class A, waiting to see those power rankings. Tryon probably not going to get a home playoff seed. I think at best they will be on the road, but they probably should get a seed into the playoffs. And finally, River Ridge 44, Heritage 21. That brings up the scoreboard. When we come back from commercial break, we have highlights from a couple of key games to show you.
Begin your future at Georgia Northwestern Technical College. We offer degrees, diplomas, and certificates in over 200 programs of study. Choose a career in business, health, industrial, or public service. With the flexibility of day, evening, and online classes at any of our 5 campus locations, getting your education at GNTC has never been more convenient. There are many financial aid options available, including student loans. Apply now. Georgia Northwestern Technical College. Your college, your town, your future.
Rome traveled to Woodland Friday night in a must-win game, and for the 2nd week in a row, the Wolves had to go to overtime.
All the kids played hard, and we just, came up short right there at the end in overtime. Well, same thing as last week. We had to had some mistakes, penalties that end up costing us. Field position was tough in the first half, and then, it seemed like when we get something going, we'd have a penalty to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Armurchie traveled to Pepperell Friday night in hopes of upsetting the Dragons. The Dragons took the field knowing they had to get a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And here we are, the final week of the regular season. My 5 takeaways, or my takeaways. I may have more than 5, I may have less. First off, Rome had a good season. Coosa had a good season. Both of those teams had good seasons, of course. Several teams did. Those two in particular, they were just there, just could not get the break they needed to get into the playoffs. Still, both teams look like they will have a lot coming back for next year. The playoff teams, big kudos obviously go out to Sonoraville, reaching the playoffs for the first time ever. Calhoun, 100 straight region victories, a 13th straight region title. You know, the Yellow Jackets, we don't know how far they'll go in the playoffs. They're trying 5 straight years to the finals. We'll see if they can make it a 6th. This season we'll be following them all the way through. Of course, kudos to Model and Pepperell for both reaching the playoffs in AA as well. It's not fun going on the road, but guess what? It's awful fun at least making the playoffs. For Single A, it's the sit back and wait and maybe relax, maybe get freaked out mode, because we don't know how the power rankings will fall. We have seen in other sports that the power rankings do adjust some, so we'll have to wait to see if Darlington gets a home game, if Darlington gets a road game, if Tryon makes it in the playoffs, and whether they'll be at home or on the road. Cedartown, We know they'll be on the road. Not exactly sure who. We'll find out. We'll find out later. But the Bulldogs, have a chance. They didn't make the playoffs last year. This year they did. Every team, once you're in the playoffs, you always have that chance to make a run. And of course, kudos to Ringgold. I believe the first round home playoff game. Adairsville's back in the playoffs as well. A lot of local teams in the playoffs. Kudos go out to them, of course. If you want to read about all of these, come to PrepCentralOnline.com. We have articles, photos, videos from several of the games, of course, articles from all of the games, and then come back with us on Wednesday for the preview show where I will break down all of the playoffs, possible scenarios. I'll take a look at the brackets and see where some teams may have issues on the brackets and which teams have a favorable bracket and how far they might be able to get. All of that coming up on Wednesday. Until then, of course, we have this later Saturday. We're going to have coverage of the Region Cheerleading Championships from 7AA and the State Cross Country Championships on Prep Central Online as well on Saturday. Be sure to come back for that. And, of course, the Wednesday preview show. For Kevin Myrick, I'm Jim Allred saying we'll see you on the sideline.